What's up, guys? I'm Grif, and today we're going to talk about money! Well, not just money, but money in relation to how much we're willing to spend on games. Games cost a ton to make these days. Destiny's budget was estimated to be around $500 million. You've got games like GTA 5, which were $265 million, and if you go just one game before that, GTA 4 was only $100 million, so we're ramping up the cost at a pretty good rate. And generally, games are about $60 a pop. So a single game, you're talking USD, $60, and then you've got things like microtransactions and DLC to supplement some of that dev cost and everything. And as long as we're not getting crazy, that's fine. $60 for a completely finished, polished, 100% done full game, that's fine. And I think some people would even be willing to pay $70 or $80 for a final product that's, on par with what you'd expect for AAA gaming. Not what AAA gaming is now, but what you'd think it should be. Of course, then you get into the issue of charging $60 for a AAA game that's had half the content cut out and sold back to you in pieces. That's garbage, and you shouldn't be expected to pay full price for that, but that is for another video completely. So we've established a baseline, $60, new game, fully done, all that jazz. Great. So what about remasters, since those are the brand new thing that everybody wants to do? I'll pick on one game kind of specifically right now, and it's because I personally am a little miffed about it, but it can kind of be applied to a few other games as well. This past week, Bulletstorm, the full clip edition came out, which is a remaster of Bulletstorm. I love that game. Bulletstorm is great for me. It's ridiculous, it's crazy, whatever, but it wasn't a huge seller at the time that it came out when it was brand new. I don't think it's going to be a huge seller right now. In fact, I couldn't get a copy myself at the place I wanted to pick it up because they're not actually going to carry it. Regardless, it's retailing at $60, which I think is a little strange because it's a remaster for a game that wasn't hugely successful and it's a single title instead of a collection. Before you think that I'm hating on remasters, I'm not. I love remasters and the idea of it. I love the nostalgia. I love that we can update old stuff and bring it to new consoles and whatnot. The past couple I bought were the Ezio Collection, which is Assassin's Creed 2 and its two subsequent games, and the BioShock Collection, which is BioShock, BioShock 2, and Infinite. I definitely don't mind repurchasing something that I know I love, especially if it's going to be remastered and prettied up, basically. I'm totally okay with that, but the difference is a collection versus a single game and the price point for those two. I also think you have to take into consideration the success of those games. Something like Assassin's Creed 2, which was a runaway hit, I mean, that's gonna be worth more, I suppose, in the long run than something like Bulletstorm that didn't sell super well the first time and probably won't sell as well this time, even though it's amazing. And it's being published by Gearbox, who have done another collection before. They did the Handsome Collection, which is Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel, and all of its DLC, and they priced that at $60. So you're getting two games and all of its DLC for $60, or a single game that I don't recall having DLC for $60. I know it feels like I'm picking on one game and being kind of harsh about it, and maybe I am, but it's because I think it's ridiculous. If you're using the Bulletstorm remaster to generate hype for a second game maybe, or to test the waters and see if a second game might be possible, that's fine, but you're going to turn off a lot of people that might have tried it out because you're selling them a game from 2011 at 2017 pricing. And maybe you also think I'm picking on it because it's not part of a collection. That's not true either. There were things like the Resident Evil remasters that did Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 separately and sold them separately at reasonable pricing. And I'd go so far as to argue that probably Resident Evil 5 and 6 were about as popular as Bulletstorm, if not a little more. So you're selling a more popular game by itself for less than you're selling that less popular game for? I guess the idea is to try to get those people who didn't play it before to play it now, but we're not stupid and we all know that this is a remaster. Of course, this isn't the only remaster that's come out at full price. The only other one that I can think of off the top of my head, though, and I wish I would have looked up more before this, but the only one I can think of off the top of my head is The Last of Us, which came out almost a year, a little more maybe, than its original release date, came right out and was remastered at $60 for PlayStation 4. I'm willing to argue that that one gets a little more leeway because, holy shit, it's on a totally different level. The Last of Us won all of these awards. It was a crazy great game. It was really full and just ridiculously good. And it's not that Bulletstorm's not good. I've already said I love Bulletstorm. It's a fun romp in ridiculousness. But it's not on the same level, I'd say. So in general, I think it's fine to price games at $60. New AAA titles, even maybe a little bit more than $60. We'd pay for it. It's fine. It's our escapism. It's our hobby. it's what it is. But at the same time, I don't think that you can ask for full price for a game that you're just brushing up the graphics on and reselling us that we probably already bought if we're buying the remaster. Maybe it's because you're banking on people feeling like it's a safe bet. Oh, they've already bought it once, they know they like it, they'll be willing to spend the $60 again. Well, that's all well and good, except for you're asking me to pay full price a second time for something I've already purchased. So maybe if we could just get devs and publishers talking together about how much things should cost in the grand scheme of things and kind of bring down something like a Bulletstorm remaster being $60. And let's not even talk about trying to sell remasters to PC players. PC can already run the game at really amazing settings, and you've got modders who have already jacked up the graphics on it and everything. So selling a game, not just a game, but a remastered game to PC players is pretty hard, and that's probably something for another video altogether anyway. But in general, $60 for a single remaster seems a little high. So I'd love to know what you think about things. How are you with pricing on games? $60 is enough for you? Would you spend more on games that you know are going to be great? Do you think there should be a better pay scale for games and not everything should be $60 flat out? How do you feel about the remaster pricing? All of that stuff. Let's have a discussion about all of it. You can leave me a comment here on YouTube. You can hit us up on the website, infiniterespawn.com, or you can find us on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. I am all about conversation, so let's talk about this, and I will see you guys next time.